I'm Mark Schrader, the president of the Wood Library Museum in Schaumburg, Illinois, and I'd like to talk with you today about the copper kettle vaporizer that was invented by Lucien Morris. This is the first prototype of the copper kettle that Lucien had made by the Fourier Company in about 1948. Lucien Morris was the son of a biochemistry professor at Western University in Cleveland, Ohio. He went to college at Oberlin studying chemistry and then taught biochemistry to medical students. He decided to go to medical school himself, graduating just before the war. After the war, he undertook a residency in anesthesia at the University of Wisconsin with Ralph Waters. At that time, they were studying chloroform because it was 100 years since it had been first introduced, and their plan was to study this medication, this vapor, as though it were a new drug. They were using a vaporizer for chloroform like this one, which was made out of glass and had a very rough adjustment to the amount of airflow through it or gas flow through it. And consequently, it gave very imprecise amounts of chloroform. Lucien Morris said to Ralph Waters one day, "Anybody should be able to make a better vaporizer." A few weeks later, during a meeting of the anesthesia department, Ralph Waters was away on vacation, but they brought out a postcard sent to Lucien Morris by Ralph Waters that said, "Has Lucien made his vaporizer yet?" And that really set Lucien to thinking. So he designed this vaporizer, which is made out of copper, and that solves a couple of problems. As anesthetics vaporize, they cool, and this copper vaporizer would draw heat out of the environment and keep the liquid chloroform warmer and allow it to vaporize more steadily. A second feature of this vaporizer is that it has a measured amount of air that is put through the vaporizer, so you can get a very precise measurement of how much chloroform is coming out if you know the vapor pressure of chloroform. Lucien was the perfect one to do this invention because he knew so much about chemistry and had actually taught chemistry to medical students. The first vaporizer arrived in 1948, and that was this very vaporizer at the University of Wisconsin. The first commercial model became available in 1951, and the first published report about the use of the vaporizer was in Anesthesiology in 1952. There have been modifications to this vaporizer since then. One of them was to take this filling valve from the top and put it down to the bottom, which prevented overfilling of the vaporizer, which could lead to disastrous consequences. The second was to introduce within the vaporizer itself this device, which is a double cam exclusion valve, which would prevent the vaporizer from pressurizing when it was turned off, but gas was still flowing into it, so that when it was opened again, there wouldn't be a sudden blast of chloroform coming out of it. This was such a popular vaporizer that it actually captured the field for 25 years or more and was useful not only for chloroform, but also for ether and then for the new medication, halothane. Lucien Morris made his name and is famous for his vaporizer, the copper kettle.